All right, let's get into how I created this shot right here. And I just got to say that I really like these Mythic Legions figures. I honestly think they photograph so nicely. But as we scroll down, I want to share with you how I created the glow, the twist in the cape, on the top seams of the cape, how it twirls and stuff like that. And I got the heat wave in there. I modeled and printed and painted this cauldron here, and I put a light inside. There's lots of little things that went into this shot, and I'm going to try to condense most of it in a 9-minute video. But the reflection and the amount of character in these figures, you know, or the reflection that they're able to kick back in a photo is just so nice, man. When you light these figures, they just do a fantastic job. And here's a couple other shots that I did of another Mythic Legions figure. This, I guess, is just called a Legion builder. I'm not a Mythic Legions professional, so forgive me. But I've certainly got some being shipped to me now because they're great looking, and I think I'm going to have fun shooting these figures. But let's get into how I created this shot and talk a little bit about the steps that I went through. It's not a difficult shot, but there's a few steps. And don't think I did this in the 3 shots or 4 shots that I'm going to show you. There was more shots done, but I just condensed it to the main one. So here I'm just setting up this dio, putting some boards that I created out of foam to sort of block off the doorway. But what that really is designed to do is make a kind of a gobo. It's made to prevent a lot of light from coming in behind the figure and masking off some of it and sort of creating a modifier at the same time as it is decorative, even though you're only going to see the board above the figure's head in the photo. But its main purpose is really, like I say, to block light, because I'm putting this soft box directly behind there. And it's going to kick a lot of light back onto the scene from behind. And so I wanted to, and being that the shot is really about the glow of the heat and the fire, I didn't want to put all this bright light from behind onto the scene, is kind of what my thinking was. I had a shot in mind, and so I'm setting up for that shot, which is always a good way to do it. So we're going to cut a couple gels here. I've got an orange gel, and this is I'm going to end up putting this on a GoPro. Not a GoPro, a Lume Cube, excuse me. And we're going to end up putting that on a Lume Cube. And at any rate, but for now, I'm going to kind of loosely set this pose up and this cape. And one of the nice things about this figure, there's so many, and this is by no way is affiliated with Mythic Legions. I'm going to sound excited about them, but it's just my personal view. So we're going to like loosely set a pose up here and get him set behind the cauldron. And I'm going to kind of explore the scene with the camera. I already have the shot in mind, like I said. And so I kind of know the angle that I want. I just want to see the composition in the viewfinder before I actually bring the tripod out and set it up and begin to do the lighting. That's one thing that I always do. Even though I have a shot in mind, it helps to really explore with the camera and lens choice that you're using to get the shot. And once I think I have where I want to do it, I'll just drag the tripod out, set it in place, and it makes it really easy that way. It's just a nice process to build on those steps. And then this snow here, this is something that I did last Halloween, where I bought this crafting foam, which was actually made out of recycled plastic, and I pulverized it in the NutriBullet, and it creates really awesome snow. But it creates a mess too, and I don't recommend you put it in your NutriBullet because it's recycled plastic and you don't want that residue in your food. But I don't think. I just get an idea and I run with it. But in hindsight, don't you do that. So we're going to spread the recycled plastic pulverized bits of crafting foam out here onto the dio and just kind of brush it down. I'm going to be at a low angle, so you're not really going to see this or the prints or patterns in the snow because I'm at a low angle. kind of looking up at the figure, so that's really not important, but I do want to spread it out. Here we're going to fine-tune Mr. Duban in his flying cape as he's warming himself by the cauldron heat on the cold night. I'm not a storyteller, but that's what I'm doing. So we're just fine-tuning. I'm going into manual focus here, and I'm making sure that I zoom in on 10 times magnification of the viewfinder to get manual focus locked in on Duban's eye, because one of the things about this figure that I'm not as much of a fan of is his cowl. Not his cowl, but his hood. It's not soft goods, it's a rubbery kind, and it's, unless I got in there with a heat gun and kind of reformed it a little bit and pulled it away from his face is a bit obscured in the hood, which is okay. It adds to the drama. You just got to be sure that you get it lit right and focused right. Here's the first shot. The first shot was mainly focused on how bright the light is coming from behind, and do I have a long enough exposure to get the glow from the cauldron reflected back up onto Duban. And so that was the whole intent of the main shot. And I think it was a long enough exposure, but I'm going to readjust the softbox, because when I put a gel in this big softbox, it's only a 10 by 10 gel. And so I want to put that, I want to center the softbox and the flash that's in the softbox as centered behind the subject as I can, because I want that most amount of blue coming through there that I can, because the gel is smaller than the softbox. So on to the next light, which is going to be a lume cube. It's going to have an orange gel in it, and this is going to help create what the cauldron light doesn't do. It's going to create that glow up more on the armor and more toward the outside of the cauldron. And so I'm centering that with a snoot on a short wheeled stand here that's going to give me the more intense light that I'm looking for, that the cauldron just can't produce because it's small. And so once I do that, then we'll go ahead and what I ended up doing was taking the lights out of the cauldron and inserting a tea light in addition to the lights that I had wired in there. And I put foam in the bottom of the cauldron to raise those lights closer to the surface to make the lights inside the cauldron actually brighter and kick more light up on the armor, so that I didn't have to create such a long exposure. And you can see the effect of that here, and you're going to see the effect in the shot that I'm going to show you here also, coming up right now. So this shot here, you can look and see there's glow coming up from the cauldron. It's kicking up onto the armor of Duban, but then the lume cube is also kicking out an orange light under the cape and stuff like that is going to give us that full effect of the warm glow. Here we're just going to put another lume cube with a blue gel, reverse bounce back onto the scene with a piece of foam board being held up by a water bottle. Just grab whatever you can and use it to hold stuff. That's what I do. So once I have the lume cube set like I want, and it's kicking out the right amount of light I think that's going to complement the scene, then shut everything off, and we're going to add a little bit of atmosphere to this with the fog. I shoot the fog in there, and I'm looking for the right time to turn the fog machine off. We're at a 3 or 4 second exposure, so I'm going to get a nice smooth atmosphere in this. But anyway, I appreciate you guys and gals watching. I'm going to show you the before, I'm going to show you the unedited, and I'm going to show you the edited. Here you go. If you haven't done so, like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate everybody following me, and I'll see you on all the social media platforms. Take care.